and welcome back. We're moving into our final conversation for today as we get the details of the upcoming SPRITE Eastern Division Youth Basketball Cup Tournament, right? Yes. Is that the whole title?
That's
or
the
did
whole
I miss
title.
a word?
2018.
2018.
All right.
Almost got it. We have on set with us Jason Badillo, who's the brand coordinator for SPRITE for Bowen and Bowen, and we have Douglas Hyde, who is the National Youth Program Coordinator for the Belize Police Department. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you too.
It's a pleasure.
I'm a little disappointed because the last time we spoke about this, there was a basketball skills display. Kevin, you would have enjoyed that.
Wow.
But we don't have a basketball today.
Really?
Yeah.
Different
Yeah.
environment too.
And Douglas, you won, right?
Different environment too.
You won. You didn't want to give up that championship title, did you?
No man.
But we are talking about an event that we know a lot of people look forward to. Let's go back 3 years ago when you first got it started, the basketball tournament.
2015, Mr. Chester Williams, the Deputy Commissioner of Police, took over Belize City, Eastern Division, and the discussion with the teams, different communities, in terms of finding something that they can communicate and participate in positively. The discussion was in the meetings that we had. We started with family days. On Sundays, we go into the different communities, and that was actually what generated some of the teams to formulate themselves. And the guys came up with a suggestion of saying, let's compete against each other. So we got your community and you can have my community kind of stuff. Yeah. And then the final discussion was what sport, football or basketball. Majority was basketball. So we approached, the first year was BTL. Mr. Williams spoke to the person in charge, the chairperson in charge of BTL then, who jumped right on board and gave us the first year of sponsorship in 2016. And then we started off with 8 teams that year and finished the tournament with 6. And these teams came from the different areas of Southside. In 2017, we approached Bowen and Bowen, B&B. And never forget that discussion with Mr. Michael Bowen then. It was an awesome meeting with him, Mr. Williams and myself. We discussed the whole objective of it and what we wanted to reach out within the communities and these guys, and he jumped on board instant. He said, actually, we want to take full control of this. We want to use the SPRITE brand, and of course he aligned me with his team there at the branding, which was Jason and Leanne Castillo, and so immediately we built that relationship of what we wanted to do. And so we reached out back to the communities then, and we had 10 teams who participated in 2016-2017 year. And of that 10, 8 of them completed the tournament. This year, we started with 13 teams. We actually expanded. Yeah. And the tournament will finish this Saturday with 12. 12 teams are competing, very, very excited about it. Every weekend, every Saturday I should say, for almost 3 to 4 hours, we compete with 5 to 6 games from the different eras, different neighborhoods. There's not a team I can tell you that haven't enjoyed this competition to the extent. Kevin himself have went to a couple of the games and see how the competition is at a different level. Some people will think because these guys come from a different neighborhood, the gang eras, that they don't have no talent and skill. I can tell you that there's raw talent out there. The competition also have, I should say, our tournament have also included not just the SPRITE branding, but we've included other partners, and we've worked closely with the Department of Youth Services, who every week they give us no less than 5 of their staff to work in the statistics area. So we have persons behind the desk who do the scoring, the timing and stuff for us, which is a big, big plus. And then the after hours work is through the community rehab department, who 2 of their staff do the SKIES program, and we're looking at life skills. So after 5 in the evenings, these young ladies go to the different neighborhoods and work with the teams in terms of concerns or issues related to the games, or also in terms of issues related to themselves. So they will talk about communication skills issues, conflict resolution issues, stuff like that, which is also very much important component of our tournament.
One of the dynamics of the urban violence that we're seeing is the turf war that's ongoing. And I know from prior conversations that sports activities like this are meant to have interaction, almost forced interaction, doing something they love, and try to mend the divide that exists. But there is also the fact that some of these young men can't leave their communities. Yeah. How do you work with that current situation to ensure that you're getting at-risk boys involved, but that they also feel safe?
It's a challenge, and I must tell you that this year, as I mentioned to Jason, one of our team actually dropped out because of that issue.
Because they can't go to another court in another area.
Only time they could have played was in their own court. And so that was one of the challenges. What we've done is that the part the police officers play in the police department is that we actually go and pick up these guys and take them in the different neighborhoods. And likewise, when the game finishes, we take them back. But some of them have some serious threat, some real high-risk threat, and the threat is not just to themselves, but those around them. Yeah. So if we realize that scenario and situation, then we will leave them where they are, because the risk of shooting happening in that era will be even worse, not just for the individual, but for all of us. Yeah. The discussion is ongoing, because this is where we realize the reality is there. That is something that we just can't throw away. Yeah. That there are some persons' life that are really at risk, and it's not just because of the incident or the allegations that they may be involved. It's just the reality that somebody wants their life, and going for their life means that all of us are at risk.
And there are perpetrators who are indiscriminate in the shooting.
So we've been working on that aspect, and I'm happy that we've literally worked with most of the teams who've honestly went through this tournament without no incident. Yes, we've had games that have been high tension, and of course the back and forth talks, but there is nothing transpired to that level of violence.
But let's flip it a little, because as you've said, I've attended many of the games. I'm very impressed. This is high level stuff. I mean, I've seen politicians organize tournaments. I've seen the Belize Basketball Federation organized tournament. This is high-level stuff. This is very good. I want to flip it, because, I mean, as much as we talk about, and I want to say this as well, you're talking about at-risk youth, black, for the most part, at-risk youth, from very challenging neighborhoods. But I want to speak to two things. One is that, as much as we talk about violence and risk, at the heart of all of these gentlemen, none of them want to die, and all of them want to get along with everybody else. Yeah. And I think that, and another thing I want to say in my introduction here, is that you actually ref, which is the most difficult aspect of, apart from the organization. And that brings me to this point that I wanted to talk about, Douglas, which is, and it bridges you in coming here as the corporate sponsor. There's an issue of credibility for males in Belize, and particularly people from these impoverished at-risk areas. When you come with the level of organization, credibility, look at the jerseys alone. They're high quality. Do you think that gives you an edge in to get these guys' ears to say, listen, you see how I come out on real, I come with SPRITE, the same brand that actually endorses LeBron James. I'm coming to you with that level of credibility. So now, come to me with that level. And what do you think is the spin-off from this in being able to credibly go to these organizations, to these communities, and make change?
You're right, Kev. In terms of the response from the guys, immediately we've seen that support by the word of their mouth in terms of their participation, but also their contribution. The jerseys itself really play a big role.
Of course,
I'll tell you,
they look cool.
They're really nice. The colors are high quality, yes, and the colors really play a difference for us this year. We changed a lot of the stuff from last year to this year, and the guys were really appreciative. Not only that, with the games as you see in the competition, they get liquids, they get soft drinks, they get water. You know what I'm saying? They're well taken care of, and that itself speaks volume for them. So they get that support. And like I said, it's not just that we play basketball, but they're also spoken to in terms of these sessions.
Programs.
So we have these young ladies in the SPRITE program that talk to them at the games. So they're rooting for them. If something come up, they will pull them at the side and say, hey, we need you to work out on where we talk about during the sessions. And these plays a big factor. I've seen many times when discussion, as you mentioned, I also ref games likewise too. And part of that is a strategy to hold control. Because not only as the coordinator and the person who planned the whole tournament, I realized by being there on the court also speaks volume, because these guys have also built a respect for me. So when certain things happen, I could immediately respond in a way that I could understand, playing the basketball for years likewise, but also from their standpoint, growing up in the different neighborhoods. We've been there, done that. So we know sometimes how it means to quick react to certain things that
or you can
just
see
fly
when
out.
things are escalating.
Yeah, so I know what it means to play basketball, or get all hype up, you're responding in that way there, but also you need somebody to just calm you down and realize, yeah, that's all right, let's go on with the game.
Is it subliminal messaging too? The police as the mediator?
Yes. No,
but
it's true, because there's a problem with the way that persons from these communities feel that their relationship with authority is. And a referee is an authority figure. Most times when people play basketball in the evenings, there's no ref. The ref is the strongest person who...
The loudest.
Comfortable in. Okay, you think that you're called? Okay, comfy then.
That's true.
And so...
All right, let's bring Jason into the conversation, talking about sponsoring and participating at this level. And one thing we know about Bowen and Bowen, it's very rarely simply providing tools. It's a very hands-on approach. Tell me about that company decision.
We're very active. We're all about community outreach, and most recently we're about sports and trying to build sports, develop sports from a very young age. That's something that myself and a lot of my coworkers believe, that as a country we need development from a very young age. So we've started working with summer programs, any program that starts to bring them up from under 13, under 15, come all the way up. When Douglas came along, it was a great opportunity. This was a mixture of the two. It was a mixture of the community outreach, and it was a mixture of sports. And seeing Douglas on the court reffing the games, we noticed that he had a lot of respect, and we appreciated that, and the way that the players and the members of the teams responded to him. We saw that the tournament was taking a turn for the better, and everyone was giving each other more respect, and with that you progress. So last year you had 6 teams finish, this year you have 12, next year hopefully it's 18. You know what I mean? So
Maybe
it gets
20.
bigger. We were speaking earlier, and we have teams from Sand Hill, Ladyville, that wants to, Lords Bank, that want to enter the tournament. So we see the progression already. So eventually, if this could become a nationwide initiative, it's growth all around.
As a corporate sponsor, is there a different feeling of satisfaction when you sponsor tournaments like this, as opposed to like a firms league, or the safe? I don't want to say the safe competitions.
Right.
Is there more corporate satisfaction to say, you know what, we're making a difference more so in these than?
Yes and no. We like to help everyone, and that's a difficult part of our job. We get so many requests every day.
I must bite the bait.
No, it's yes and no, because we try to help everyone. And that's what's so difficult, that everyone expects this much, but we have this much to share with everyone. So we want to help Douglas, we want to help the Firms League. So we have to do our part to help each one progress in their own right,
Doug, has there ever been, the purpose of programs like these is to really give one an outlet. Sports for development, it's not just a phrase, it really does help children and young people. But what happens when the tournament's over? How do you ensure that people are still engaged, that the players are still engaged and still feel that they have some sort of outlet? And also, has there ever been, whether anecdotally or actual stats, a correlation behind reduction in violent incidents and when a tournament is ongoing?
Mr. Williams, just yesterday we were discussing briefly, and I had a meeting with him and the officer commanding Eastern Division. It's so amazing that we don't share these statistics or information to the general public, the impact of these programs, the mentorship program, the SPRITE Eastern Police Division Youth Basketball Tournament, the Do the Right Thing, the GREAT, the PCPEP program, all these programs that we carry through community policing. We don't get on the airwaves every day and every week and speak the volume of the impact, whether a kid goes back to school, whether a kid get a job, whether a person who came in with a mad situation, it's just a matter of second before he pull a gun and go rob or go kill somebody, and in that second, that police officer, myself or one of the individuals through community policing may intervene or mediate that situation that that person think twice to not commit itself. We don't go down in the media and talk about it because at the end of the day, we realize that's what we're there to do. But we had a lot of successes. We've seen basically in terms of the reduction of crime within these times that we've carried out these programs, very successful in terms of what we're doing. I was talking to Jason, our tournament have seen many of these young men move on to the elite level of basketball.
Yeah.
In fact, we had 4 of them who actually 2 won the championship and 2 were in the sub championship teams. And we have others who participated in the elite teams. So the tournament have not only just blossomed some of them as players within our tournament, but they have moved on to other leagues and stuff. And then also there are some of them who've gotten jobs, who literally were not working, and basically by participating in some of these activities, they went and looked for jobs and are working in some of the construction works and other places. And I'm very happy of that is how that is turning out. Very, very important too, I must highlight the work of the Sports Council. This year we partner with Sports Council, and the basketball courts were actually refurbished with the partnership of B&B likewise. So some of the courts that we were playing, we actually uplifted, fixed the basketball rim, the backboards, paint over the courts and stuff like that. So that was a great move by the Belize City Council, along with the Sports Council likewise that we partner with this year. And that was a unique move this year because we didn't do last year. We just went to the courts and play ball. This year we actually paint over, change backboards, change rims, and actually had the players and community members working in that aspect. And Sports Council again came in through big time for us when they gave us 2 extra refs. So along with myself is 2 referees who are supported through the Sports Council with that, and I must say a big thank you for that aspect, because no, we don't ref games by 1 referee. We use that kind of NBA approach with 3 referees, and that itself gives a big control to the games.
Of course.
Douglas, you're trying to extract a lot out of this tournament, and I think you're doing the best that you can get it. But as the program develops, apart from just the number of teams that are participating, what else would you like to see being extracted from this tournament?
Man, that's huge. But I will tell you immediately some of the ideas or some of the suggestions given is that we want to do a national team and actually bring these guys to one team. Of all the 12 teams right now, the 13 teams, we want to bring one team, and we want to travel the districts. We want to compete in that level so that they can also become like mentors to other areas and communities, not only playing basketball, but speaking about their experience. We, as you know, there are guys who actually went through some serious situations in their life playing basketball with our tournament, and nobody know. And they don't get out and talk about what they used to do, but they are there playing basketball, and that's a story to share to other young persons what it means to go through trialations and tribulations, I should say, in terms of their day-to-day living and how they are right now in terms of their present living. And it's very important that we get guys like that to share. So that is one of the plans that I would want to take from this, to move, not only having them playing in the Belize City competition, but saying that they move to different districts and share that, but also to become mentors.
Tournament.
But also like to utilize them as mentors. So they know from this experience is showing the other schools or communities what role model they can become now in offering suggestions and also ways out of these difficult circumstances some of these communities
now,
go through.
obviously, this is It's proven successful in so many of the examples that you've given, and it's just time for the rest of the public to get on board and come out and show support.
Yeah.
Tell us what's happening this weekend.
This weekend at the Civic outside basketball, we started there in February, and we're going to finish there this Saturday, 10 o'clock in the morning. There's only going to be 2 games. We started, I can remember the first day we had 6 games. And that really helped us for the duration of this tournament, which is 5 months. 5 months actually we played this tournament with 13 teams. So 2 games. We have the first game, which is the Lakeland versus Lake Hyde. These are the teams from Baca Martin.
Quality.
Yeah, the defending champs, 2 years defending champs actually get whipped by one of the teams. It's amazing. The 4 teams that are here in this tournament for the finals, they've been there for the 3 years.
Wow.
So it's really to show how strong they are and how they've become developed over the years likewise. So first game, Lakeland versus Lake Hyde, they're playing for the 3rd place. And 3rd place is, of course, a trophy, medals, and $500 cash. Of course, they get bringing rights, of course.
Of course.
And it's amazing that the 2 Lake teams are playing against one another. So somebody have to be 3rd place. And then the championship game is again Hard Rock ABS Boys. Hard Rock ABS Boys is the as you remember Andrew Bennett, his team. He's participated in this tournament for the 3 years, I should say, and this is his team. So the team has literally survived after his tragic loss, and they're playing for the first place likewise against Southside Warriors, who is from Bakayabra. Believe me, I've heard it every game. I am one of the person no team no like. Right? And you would think because of Bakayabra offices that you think the Southside team would have a benefit. No team, not even the police team, not like me, because I'm the most stiff ref and I don't give nobody no break. So it's going to be fun.
That's good though. That's healthy competition.
It's going to be fun. So the first place is between ABS and Southside Warriors, and that will be a good game.
There's something that I would like to see. When I watch the games, I'm sitting there, and I think the next step, to my mind, is community buy-in.
Yeah.
The quality of these players. You have players like Rango. You have people like Alburn. These guys are. I mean, you talk about Kyrie level handles and speed, and then there's a big guy. I don't know his name, but I mean the quality of play out there. I see you have the James Harden beard, so you understand basketball there, right? If the community came out, some of these young men, part of the problem that males and young poor black males are having is that they're not being recognized. We get recognized on the news. And I think if the community would come out, lots of police officers, they're all over, they're relaxed, you know, and it's a safe environment, but the quality of play. How much, I mean, I know the focus is really on the guys, but it's a symbiotic relationship. To get the communities out, to come out and watch these guys, and to see, not just look at them as the guy where he'll only cuss up and smoke weed on the corner. But this is a guy where, man, if he were in college in the NBA, James Harden would have a problem. So how do we get the buy-in?
It's amazing that at the beginning of the tournament, Mr. Williams put out a call that the teams who bring out their funds, the most funds, will get $300.
Wow.
The competition of that right now is between Southside Warriors and Crawl Road, which is the same teams. They are brother and sister teams actually. They bring out they had a time they brought out 2 busload of fans.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And that was at Buttonwood.
That's really not enough.
And that was amazing, 2 busload of their fans. And that's the kind of competition we want, the spirit we want, but it's not in every neighborhood. I will admit that we would wish that more community support these guys, and you're right, some of these young persons are looked at as the worst at worst. So some of the communities do not respect them, they do not support them, and these activities like what we carry out is that I would encourage other agencies or organizations to do it during the time, not just to do it as a tournament or something like that, but as some weekend kind of activities to have these guys more involved and to bring out community kind of spirit and kind of participation, so that it's ongoing. When competition like this happens, is to support whatever they're doing. Gone are the days when we used to have a lot of community support and community buy-ins to things, what they used to do. I'm trying to move away that the police department is doing it. I would want to be like Bowen and say, let's support you.
Yeah.
Let you do the leadership in it, and we come and support you kind of way.
Yeah.
But because the pressure and the demand of the police department is so much, and the work that we've been doing to move away from the traditional way of policing to now the modern community-based policing, it is demand of us to do more than just arrest the situation.
Yeah.
We are seeing more and more that's not working.
Yeah.
And so it's like to be more proactive than reactive, which is most of our work. 80% of our work is more reactive. When the crime happens, we go and investigate, we try to do this.
But
rather
you gotta
than doing
mitigate
that,
as well.
yes, we have to be more proactive by getting these kind of activities involved in the community to get communities more at a level that they can trust, and also to build that relationship with the police department and the police officers. Yeah.
Well, one way people, of course, can show their support
It's coming out
is
Saturday.
coming out to the games. And
Won't be
it's a
disappointed.
championship, so it's definitely going to be the hottest
Yeah.
games you can possibly
And
see.
definitely afterwards, as I mentioned, the competition finishes. We have the ceremony to award these guys
Nice.
and the prizes. And the first prize is, of course, this big, awesome trophy and $1,000 cash along with medals and a
Yeah.
bragging right, because I mean now there's going to be a new champion. And the second place, of course, trophy, medals, and $750 cash.
Man,
Right.
but
Nice.
the disparity between the two sizes, babe.
Yeah.
Medium one, they had like the extra large, they had the small, they have a medium one.
Anything else is going to be happening along the side in terms of events? People just come out, show their support, have some good drinks, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's going to happen. And I must say, because we're having so many other things, mentorship program is also on Saturdays.
Okay.
10 o'clock this morning, we are having the graduation for Do the Right Thing
Okay.
nominees, which is 50 plus kids from all across the country at the old Belize. So many things that were going on through community policing, which this is one of our primary one, but not only the only program that we're carrying through.
all right, game starts at
10 o'clock in the morning.
10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Get out to the Civic Center, the outdoor basketball court, and show your support. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank
too.
you, guys.
We're going to go ahead and take our final break, and when we come back, we'll have our wrap up, so stay tuned.